So in today's video, we're going to be talking about why today should be the buy time for your guys' teams during the Team of the Year crash. But before we do go and start the video, if you guys are interested, I do offer a daily subscriber trading service over on Twitch/Discord. All you got to do is go and subscribe over on Twitch, which can do for free with Amazon Prime. If not, it's £5 or €5. And between now and the 1st of February, you will receive daily trading investments, which should be very useful through Team of the Year. A bunch of investments that have done very well in the last few weeks, especially with the likes of the Bale SBC, was fodder, and we recommended plenty of fodder since Friday. For example, we recommended Rod at 27, who is now up to 38 and rising. We recommended the likes of Harry Kane at 39, he's up to 50k and rising. We recommended slightly cheaper of Martinez at 30, and he's now up to 38k and rising. We recommended the likes of Patry along with other 89s, and they're up to 30k and rising. And then we also recommended a really cheap, easy Team of the Week investment. If I can go and grab that, we recommended buying Team of the Weeks there at 13, and these guys are all up to 16k. So loads of fodder doing well across lots of different budgets. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about why is today going to be the buy time for your guys' teams, or at least for the vast majority of cards on FIFA. Well, I think the first thing we'll do is, and this is kind of what comes down to the ideology of basically half the investments or trades we do, and that comes down to history. Historically, the market is cheapest for Team of the Year between the Tuesday all the way through to the Thursday, meaning Wednesday is a nice little middle ground to buy your players. I mean, we did talk about last night on yesterday's video about how you can go and buy your teams, but again, you still got today and tomorrow to go and buy your teams. So let's go and show you guys across like the whole board of what happened with the market last year. So we'll start with players like Asabio, and yes, Asabio did go and have that SBC during December, but again, we can go and see right here that we are looking at, obviously we're past this already, but we can see right here between the Tuesday and the Wednesday, he was, I guess, low-ish, or kind of stopped rising, and then he proceeded to go and rise, if we can go and show you this, until basically the 9th of February. We can show you this with Ronaldo, again, a little bit of a cheaper player. We can see this is the Monday, so yesterday, this is all the way through to Thursday, and then we can see rose from 300 to 400 after that. We then move on to the next one, and that is the likes of Bobby Charlton. And again, we can see right here, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he was cheap. And then after that, he rebounded. Bobby Charlton heavily got replaced by Team of the Year Best, but even players who weren't really, I mean, I guess he's the same position as Best, but again, we can look at João Pedro. We're looking at this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then after that, he really then went and picked up. There you go, Maldini. Someone who would have been affected by SBCs or anything. We can go and see, yes, he did go and rise the first week, and we saw this happen with a few defenders this week, actually, where they rose this week. But again, we can see between the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he was the cheapest, and then after that, he then proceeded to go and rise quite nicely. Team of the Year attackers. I also think we're on the buy time with Team of the Year attackers. If we go and look at Smith's trend of last year, we can see that she dropped on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, the thing I would say about Smith, and kind of it follows through with James, not so much with Hansen, and that's that she actually dropped a decent percentage yesterday. Obviously, she really went from 5 mil up to 5.3, but because she's back down to 5 mil, I quite like that as a buy, and as a result, I do think it will be a good go and pick up. And if I can actually go and move up my, my screen a little bit more, it might aid in showing you the players. Again, we can look into the midfielders, and I do think for some of the midfielders again, we're also going to be looking at a good buy time. Again, we can see right here the cheapest was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then they proceeded to rise. We also saw this happen with defender. Oh, defenders, Team of the Year defenders are the only thing that's kind of an exception. So the attackers, midfielders, I think you can buy now. Defenders weren't, because the defenders were only dropped yesterday. These all dropped till Thursday, kind of across the board. And again, let me go and show this trend here happen with these. How they're cheap Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then after Thursday is when the attackers rose. Then again, we move on to the midfielders, and we can see Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then they rose. Whereas if we move on to the defenders, again, we can kind of see they weren't that bad price, but we can see across the board the defenders were the cheapest on the Thursday. So we like all the out pack cards, we like everything apart from Team of the Year defenders to go and buy between now, well, go and buy now, whereas the Team of the Year defenders we'd go and buy on Thursday. Now, I'm sure you guys are interested about the Team of the Year icons. What about them? Well, if you guys aren't aware, there's there's been two different release dates on the Team of the Year icons. First set came between Friday to Tuesday. Those are actually out of packs now and won't be in packs until Friday. And now we're in the second set, which are between Tuesday to this Friday, right? So we're in set 2 right now. Well, there are slightly different trends amongst the cards, so let me go and show you them. So Ribery would have been the equivalent of the ones dropped last Friday. If you're interested in which ones were the ones dropped last Friday, we should hopefully be able to recollect. The ones dropped last Friday were Coman, Pele, Puskas, Henry, and I want to say maybe Cafu as well. Yeah, so the best time to go and buy these cards, we can see right here, we can see they're cheap on the Monday through to the Thursday, and then they rebounded very nicely. Zola was, again, another card that was dropped on the Friday. We can see it was cheap on the Monday, and then rose onwards. And then we move on to Lahm, which again was one of the players on the mini release, and again we can see he was the cheapest on the Thursday. So the players that were released last Friday, or the first set of Team Year icons, they were the cheapest basically yesterday, today, tomorrow, whereas the second set were the cheapest on Thursday. And again we can see their rows, and the exact same here, even with an expensive one with Mia Hamm, we can see Thursday, Friday being some of the cheapest, and then she rose nicely up there until the second week, although didn't really do as well as the other attackers out of packs. What about honourable mentions? Now obviously honourable mentions aren't even in packs, so I'm not going to be recommending you to buy them now because, well, they're not in packs. But when is the best time to go and buy them? So they dropped on the Friday, dropped Friday to Saturday, dropped Saturday to Sunday, then were the cheapest on Monday. I quite like this. Well, I mean, there's two takes on this. It's quite good because it means if you haven't invested now and you feel like you've missed the boat a bit, you've got honourable mentions on the Monday. The bad thing is they actually didn't have very good rises in compared to the rest of the market. Now, Salah did 1.2 up there to 1.37, which isn't bad. But bear in mind, and I guess I haven't showed you this probably too much in today's video, but the market rose for about 2 to 3 weeks after. Well, if we go and look at the likes of Salah, we can see you've got there to 1.37, but he never really surpassed that significantly. Whereas the others were rising week after week. So even though, yes, honourable mentions are kind of a slightly later investment you can make, they just didn't do anywhere near as good as the other players. And we'll show you a few of the other ones. Olga Carmona, again, we can see was cheap here on the Monday, Tuesday, but didn't really rebound anything significant until I think she might have been a link investment to a Future Stars. Trent, again, we can see being the cheapest actually here on the Wednesday, Thursday, but no real significant rebound. Diani, again, cheapest on the Monday, no real significant rebound. So I'll be honest with you, the honourable mentions, I'm not that convinced they're going to be that good of an investment. But it is something you can go and buy a little bit later. I mean, what, 550 up there to 600. You'd have to be getting a low on Monday, whereas getting a pretty decent high on Friday for that to actually really be worth your time. So yeah, there's honourable mentions and the buy time on that. So that's kind of my covering of basically just showing you that when certain players are going to be the cheapest, what to go and invest in. Well, how do I work out what to invest in? There's 3 different ways how I've worked out what players I think are going to be the most optimal, because of course all special cards were kind of doing about 10 to 30%, but some were doing like 50 to even doubling in price. So let's talk about those subsections that were kind of doubling in price. The first of that was link investments last year. Last year we had the Team Year honourable mention Modric, which hyper completed, and therefore we saw the likes of Mendy doing really well. We saw the likes of Eder Militao special cards doing really well. So what you want to do is you want to look at the most demanded SBCs we've had so far this Team of the Year. So Salma, semi-demanded. The one thing I will say is on of her release, there weren't really many link investments that rose. Ideally looking for the link investments that rose really nicely once the SBC came out, because it shows that there was demand to go and link them up. But yeah, Salma came out. We didn't really see many of her link investments go up, so I don't think she's probably the most optimal. Marquinhos came out. We saw his link investments go up slightly, so I'd say better than Salma, but still not too insane. Kimmich we saw come out. We saw some of Kimmich link investments do very well, so you're looking at German Bundesliga or Bayern Munich players. De Bruyne, again, I don't think his link investments did too well. Although again, I think it would favour just buying any old sort of special card. We can actually date this back a little bit more as well, because one of the players that I wouldn't mind actually, I guess it's a joint link investment, is Coman. So that's one of the reasons why I quite like some of them Bayern Munich players. They're linked to Coman, they're linked to Musiala. Coman's got another 5 days on him, so we can see those link investments continue to rise. But on top of this, we've got all the leaked SBCs as well. You can look at link investing. That's coming out of Alessandro Martinez. That is coming with Gokeres. I'm not that fond of investing in, and as of recently we even had a Phil Foden, so that kind of pushes that Man City agenda and maybe English Premier League links. So that's one of the angles I like, so link investment to SBCs. The second angle is there's this really useful page on Footbin, and you can get this via just going up to market and then going down to market index. Let's scroll the page down a little bit. We go to market, then we go to market index, and what it does is it gives you this graph that would kind of almost have you imagining that the market boomed in price yesterday, but sadly a lot of this is kind of fodder. Fodder boomed in price like I showed you at the beginning of the video. Not necessarily the market. In fact, a lot of the market actually went down. You see, again, the cards that went up, a lot of these are fodder. Whereas you see the cards that went down, a lot of those are specials. But that's, that's really good. And the reason this kind of obviously occurred is because Bale was hyper demanded. People were selling their specials to buy fodder. Fodder up, specials down. But what does happen is specials do always rebound. So I was looking at the cards that have had the highest percentage drops. Obviously, we had a left back Evo, so that's why you're seeing Hernandez, Cole in there. But yeah, I do quite like some of these left backs as an investment, especially if they're a link investment. So Cole's not bad because he's obviously got that Foden strong link. Keep on going through here again. Scott, I didn't think it's too bad. Obviously, she doesn't really have I think she might have a minor Foden link. But Scott was just a very well-demanded left back, so she wasn't looking too bad as an investment. Then you got stuff like Petit and Campbell. Again, they're not really being replaced by anything, so it doesn't really hurt to go and to buy those cards. A lot of these, you got to be aware of the cards that are only being used for Evos recently, so that Evo potentially dropping off. Right there isn't actually too much that's good, but last night there was some decent things. You can also look for some decent players to go and pick up by pressing on the 4-hour drops rather than the 24-hour drops, and that'll give you some more cards to go and buy. And likewise, with Footbin having this, FootGG has the exact same thing. They actually have the momentum trends from 24, 12, and 6 hours. These again show you the players that have had the biggest drops in the last 24, 12, and 6 hours, of course. So yeah, again, we kind of went through these last night, buying ideally players who weren't directly replaced by them having an Evo. But let's see if I can find you a nice example. And I was looking at anything that's kind of dropped at least 10% from the day before. Something like Davies. Davies, I think, might have an Evo, but the thing I like about Davies is that Kimmich investment, that Koeman investment's still there. We scroll through. Obviously, we're not that interested in Mbappe. Cola didn't mind. Bruno Fernandes obviously was directly replaced by an Evo. I didn't think Kachawi's too bad. Obviously, she was a very popular card at the beginning, so well, not at the beginning, but at the beginning of Team of the Year, so I didn't think she looked too bad. And what else do we have here? Again, we're still looking at players who've dropped 11%, so we can keep on going through. You can look at James, obviously got replaced recently with a Cam Evo, but it wasn't like there was a James Rodriguez that fit that, so that wouldn't have been too bad. Ruffalo, obviously, she went and had the Evo. Ruffalo's CDM card I didn't mind. Obviously, a link investment to Salma. We saw a bit of a drop on her yesterday. Eto I didn't mind too much. So we're basically just looking at a bunch of players, picking them up, and we're going to go and sell them on the 31st. What is the relevance of the 31st? The 31st is basically not the next week in league, but the weekend after. So players last time rose anywhere up until the 31st or up until the 7th. 31st is the safest time to go and sell your players, but you can gamble and hold for yet another week, although there wasn't a consistent rate across the board of that working. So yeah, that's the second way of how I go and look at investments, is basically looking at players who've dropped at least 10% either in the last 24, 12 or 6 hours, and ideally haven't been too directly replaced by an Evo. Other than that, I think let's go and talk a little bit about the SBCs we had. Obviously, we did go and have the Bale, and the Bale was significantly better than what we expected. By that, I just mean he had 5-star skills. We knew the play stars, we knew the stats, but yeah, having a roll plus in striker, right wing, and right mid's not bad. And then, of course, 5-star skills was quite unexpected. 2.5 million, I think it's great value for money, presuming his body type doesn't make him feel sluggish. He is significantly faster than any icon, quote unquote, in the game. Obviously, how it feels in game might be different. But yeah, really, really nice card, and I can imagine you guys would just play against him and Zidane until the foreseeable future. What did he go and do? Well, he did go and rise, and we also went and got ourselves a plebby upgrade, but no one cares about that. What did it do? Well, like I showed you at the beginning of the video, it rose the high rate of fodder really nicely. We saw 89s go from 17 up there to 20. We saw the likes of 90s go from 30 up to 36. And we saw the likes of Rodrigo from 41 up to 51. And I'll be honest with you, I think they can keep rising for the next 10 days, or 9 days now. So yeah, really nice if you were invested in some of those cards. And Inform Pleasure, again, we were talking about earlier how we recommended these 89 Informs earlier in the week at 23. Well, they did 24 up there to 29. Even the discard Informs, yes, they did 15 up to 16k. So again, favourite to keep on rising for another 9 days. With yesterday's, we're talking about the market dropping, we did obviously go and get a left-back Evo. It created quite nice left-backs, although I think unless the card was was very fast in the first place, like Theo Hernandez, I don't think it was creating two game-breaking cards because it only upgraded the pace to, you know, X amount, and that X amount I think was 90, so nothing too game-breaking. But yeah, Theo Hernandez was inflated like 50k before the Evo came out, then the Evo's come out, and now he's, you know, he went up another 50. Again, we kind of looked at this and we went, do you know what, 250 to 300, it doesn't look that appetising, but obviously went up there extinct to 300 and actually back down to 320, but again, back up to 350. The only problem is, in these sort of margins, there wasn't really that many coins to make after tax and that lot, but yeah, obviously a highly desirable card. Mendy had probably way uglier drops. So again, just like how people pre-bought Theo, and he wasn't too bad. If you're on the Mendy boat, you are looking a bit ropey. 13k up there to 21k. Evo comes out, goes from 20 to 12. Why did this occur? Well, reality is that people preferred way more different cards other than Mendy, and like I said, anyone who didn't have over 90 pace, this Evo wasn't that appetising because it capped out their pace at 90. Same thing we saw here for Ashley Cole, if we go and show you yesterday, where he was 75, got pumped up there to 106, but reality is when the Evo came out, we came down to 72k. Diego Dalot, we actually did recommend investing in last night post the Evo coming out. So again, he went from 65 up there to 71, and we recommended buying him last night. I think it was about 63k, and he has rebounded up to 69, and we think he can continue rebounding through the week. We've got a bunch more leaks going into the Evo. Future Star Evo card designed, if you guys missed out last year, weren't around for FIFA last year, we basically got ourselves an Evo where they pre-selected 10 defenders, midfielders and forwards who are all Future Star cards, and you could Evo them. They basically gave you a bunch of free special cards. They were only like 83 or 84 rated, and then you got to Evo one of those select players rather than absolutely anyone. It was really good fun. Created insane cards that literally held the value or held the sort of ability in your team to team of the season. Abali's leaked come as an SBC. A lot of people have asked me, should I panic sell X, Y, and Z because of Abali? The only problem is Abali kind of has to come out before Thursday, otherwise we see that significant rise. So if she comes out on the Friday or comes out sometime next week, I think the market rising should kind of outweigh her dropping. The problem we have with Abali as well is arguably she's kind of Zidane's position, and because she's Zidane's position, I'm not that convinced she'll have that much of an impact on the market. So, I mean, if you want to buy centre mids, maybe you gamble that Abali's going to come out in the next 48 hours. But if she's not out in the next 48 hours, then I'll be honest with you, I'm happy to go and buy centre mids now. I'm not too worried about her replacing players too much again, especially if she's arguably more of a cam than she is a centre mid. We've also got Ronaldo coming as 12th man. Nothing really to do with that. Cool, I guess. He'll be like extinct at 14, 15 million, so happy days. We've got La Liga POTM. I've had a few people talk about, should I panic sell XYZ striker with La Liga POTM? One, it's not coming out for 9 days, which is basically when we're going to hold our cards till anyway. And two, POTM very rarely has any impact on the market. Be interesting if Mbappe does win. I'm not quite sure about the other players in terms of who's the most deserved there, but yeah, I'm not that worried about Mbappe POTM. Maybe for his rush card, maybe it's a bit of a worry, but I still think you could probably go and sell his rush card either this Friday or next Friday, and you've got not too much to worry about. Kajandi Shaw has gone and won the 12th man for the woman, or 12th woman, instead of Horan, which is quite a surprise, but I don't know, she's probably played really well. I know Man City women are quite a decent performing team. What other leaks do we have? We've got, in the new season rewards, we're going to have a Season 3 and Season Review pack. Someone said again, should I go and panic sell Team of the Years? I couldn't care less about this. It contains one player, which is over 78 rated from Thunderstruck, Ultimate Succession, Globetrotters, Winter Wildcard to Numerapa and Team of the Year. The odds on you getting Team of the Year? Very low. Unless they want to go and give everyone Haaland again, so couldn't care less. They might as well not put Team of the Years in there for a whole load of pack players. Phil Foden's coming out as an SBC. Really like his link investments. Very popular card. Obviously, we've already got Man City SBCs with the likes of John Stones and KDB, so yeah, I think he can be very nicely demanded. And yeah, that kind of wraps up that. Again, Foden, another card I'm down to go and buy a bunch of link investments and hold through to the 31st. That is going to go and wrap that up. Thank you very much for watching. Also, again, if I haven't kind of made it clear, I do recommend buying your teams now, if that wasn't clear enough with the video. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.